Hey everyone, tonight I've got a really scary true story to share with all of you. It's from Thailand again. So, let's not waste any time. Settle in and listen to this tale titled The Corpse Water. This truly horrifying and terrifying story happened back in 2008 in an apartment building in Pathum Thani Province, Thailand. The main characters are two guys, Vit and Mai. They were students who shared a rented room in that building. Every free day, they would go play football and always come back at night. The truly shocking part is that at that time, a woman was murdered. The killer then dumped her body into a large water tank, the very big tank that supplied water to everyone living in that building. But when she was first killed, no one immediately knew. It wasn't until her body started to decompose, and parts of it began to break off and flow with the water into individual rooms, that everyone started getting suspicious. They called in experts to check the water tank, which was on the very top floor of the building. Before they found out, the water they were using started to smell really bad, evolving from a slight odor to a strong putrid stench. And it wasn't just the smell, the water was also getting cloudy. Not only that, but they even started seeing strands of hair coming through the water. Now let's talk about Vit and Mai. Their room was on one of the top floors. Not only were they using that corpse-filled water, but they also experienced hauntings. One night, after returning from football practice, they suddenly heard a sound like someone hammering something on the roof, right above their room. After hearing that sound, they looked at each other and decided to go upstairs to check it out, because they wanted to know who was making that sound. But when they got to the top floor, there was no one there. What was even more unexpected was that as they were about to go back downstairs, Vit suddenly heard a woman crying. But when he asked Mai said he didn't hear anything. And at the same time, the crying stopped. So Vit thought he must have misheard. They went back to their room and reluctantly took a shower with that corpse water. The next day, they went to football practice again, but because they were so tired and exhausted, Vit and Mai asked their coach if they could go back to their room early. When they arrived, Mai was sitting watching TV, while Vit went to take a shower. At that point, the water flowing from the tap smelled even worse. Not only that, but after he finished showering, Vit suddenly noticed a lot of hair clogged in the drain pipe. These were long hairs, and he could tell they were a woman's. Vit immediately shouted to his friend, who was watching TV, asking, "Did you bring a girlfriend to the room? Why is there so much women's hair in the bathroom?" Mai replied that he hadn't brought any girl over. When Vit started pulling the hair out to look at it, he saw a single eyeball underneath all the hair. Seeing that shocked him so much that he fell backward. He couldn't even open his mouth to scream for his friend's help. He was frozen like a statue. A moment later, after he collected himself, Vit crawled out and told his friend what he had seen. And what was a huge coincidence was that outside, other residents of the building were also in a panic. People from different rooms were going up to the top floor to look inside the water tank, wanting to know what was in there. When they got there, they found a woman's body. Half of her body was wrapped in a black plastic bag and floating in the water tank. That part of her body was so decomposed, it was unrecognizable. After seeing that sight, everyone living in the building, especially those who had been using water from that tank, started vomiting. They were disgusted by the water they had been using, because some people not only used it for showering, but also for cooking rice, and even drinking. Even Mai and Vit started throwing up. That's when Mai and Vit remembered the strange incident from the day before, when they heard someone hammering on the roof and the sound of a woman crying. It was definitely a haunting. It wasn't a misunderstanding at all. Immediately they packed their belongings and left the room without delay. Later on, Thai filmmakers actually turned this story into a movie called Still, or Tai Hong in Thai. It was released in 2010. And this short, chilling ghost story has come to an end. Thank you all for taking the time to listen. Goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video.